Tonight, we delve into a critical issue that's rapidly changing the landscape of our economy. A new threat emerges for the American economy, a challenge that could affect everything from your grocery bill to the stability of major industries. This isn't a natural disaster, an unforeseen event, but a deliberate policy. Tariffs. These are taxes imposed on goods coming into our country. Tariffs are taxes on imported goods, essentially increasing the cost of these products for American businesses and consumers. They are designed to protect American industries and jobs, giving domestic companies a competitive edge by making foreign products more expensive. The Trump administration claims these measures will correct trade imbalances, leveling the playing field, and bringing back manufacturing to the United States. These policies are aimed especially at China, a major trading partner, and a key focus of the administration's trade strategy. This latest round of tariffs marks a major escalation, a significant ratcheting up of tensions in the ongoing trade war. This is a trade war that has been brewing for quite some time, and now it's intensifying with potentially far-reaching consequences. President Trump is betting that other countries will feel more pain than the U.S., that they will ultimately concede to American demands. It's a risky gamble, a high-stakes game of economic brinkmanship with uncertain outcomes. The idea? Make foreign goods pricier, less attractive to American consumers. The hope is that, faced with higher prices on imports, Americans will buy more domestic products, boosting American manufacturing. But what if the biggest sellers of those foreign goods, the companies that bring these products to your doorstep, are American companies themselves? What happens when these tariffs impact the very businesses they are intended to protect? This isn't just about global politics. It's not just an abstract debate between nations. It's about your wallet, the money you spend every day on the things you need. It's about your community, the businesses that provide jobs and services, and your local stores, the places where you shop. Tariffs could send shockwaves, creating ripples of economic uncertainty and potentially disrupting markets. These policies have the potential to impact the entire U.S. economy, affecting everything from stock prices to consumer confidence. The effects could be felt from small businesses struggling to stay afloat to corporate giants reevaluating their global strategies. Our world runs on global supply chains. Products are sourced and manufactured across borders. A tariff is like a toll booth on that highway, adding costs and potentially slowing down the flow of goods. And someone always pays, whether it's the consumer, the business, or the economy as a whole. The real conflict, the underlying tension at the heart of this issue, it's economic nationalism, the desire to prioritize domestic interests above all else. This clashes with the reality of a global marketplace where economies are interconnected and interdependent. On one side, there's the push to protect American jobs, to revitalize domestic manufacturing and ensure economic security. On the other, there's the demand for affordable goods, the desire to maintain access to a wide range of products at competitive prices. This clash is now front and center, demanding our attention and requiring careful consideration. In this story, we'll see how tariffs could reshape American retail, how they might alter the shopping experience and the products available to consumers. And we'll explore what it means for millions of families, how these policies could impact their budgets and their daily lives. From the checkout aisle, where consumers make purchasing decisions, to the factory floor, where goods are produced, the impact will be real and immediate, with consequences that ripple throughout the economy. To grasp the impact of tariffs, you need to understand Walmart. More than a store, Walmart is an American icon built on one promise: save money, live better. Walmart's business model is all about high volume, low prices. They buy in bulk, negotiate hard, and pass savings to customers, making them the world's largest retailer. Their success depends on keeping costs down at every step, especially by sourcing from the cheapest global manufacturers. Walmart's relentless drive for low prices has fueled the globalization of manufacturing. For millions of budget-conscious families, Walmart is a lifeline. Any disruption to this low-cost ecosystem threatens Walmart's core mission. If tariffs raise costs, Walmart's identity as the king of low prices is at risk. The new tariffs aren't just a headache, they're a direct challenge to Walmart's entire business model. Step into any Walmart store and you're met with aisles upon aisles of products. But behind those well-stocked shelves lies a complex and intricate web: Walmart's global supply chain. It's a logistical marvel, responsible for bringing goods from all corners of the earth to your local store. And at the very heart of this global network sits China. A significant portion of Walmart's vast product range, from cutting-edge electronics to everyday clothes, children's toys, and even household furniture, are manufactured in China. Over the years, Walmart's immense buying power has played a pivotal role in shaping entire Chinese industries, fostering growth and specialization. This has led to the creation of deep and complex ties, making it incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to simply unwind these relationships overnight. This heavy reliance on Chinese manufacturing has undoubtedly saved American shoppers billions of dollars through consistently low prices, but it also creates a significant vulnerability for the retail giant. The introduction of tariffs on Chinese goods effectively acts as a tax directly levied on Walmart's intricate supply chain. The very products that have come to define Walmart's promise of everyday low prices are now directly in the crosshairs. The process of shifting suppliers to other regions is neither quick nor easy, presenting a considerable challenge. Relocating production to alternative countries is a complex undertaking that can take years to fully implement, and it inevitably introduces a whole new set of costs. While other countries like Vietnam and Mexico offer potential alternatives, they simply cannot replicate China's massive scale and production capacity in the short term. Therefore, even if Walmart actively pursues a strategy to diversify its supply chain, consumers may still see prices rise due to the inevitable logistics and infrastructure challenges associated with these shifts. Consequently, for the foreseeable future, Walmart's economic fate remains inextricably linked to that of China. In the event of a prolonged and escalating trade war, Walmart stands to potentially lose more than many other major corporations. The company is exposed to a direct and significant hit to its core economic engine, threatening its long-held position in the market. How do tariffs in Washington turn into higher prices at your local Walmart? It's a chain reaction. When tariffs hit, importers, often Walmart or its suppliers, pay more for goods at the port. That extra cost is rarely absorbed. It's passed along the supply chain. Walmart faces a choice: eat the cost and hurt profits or raise prices for customers. Across thousands of products, absorbing costs isn't sustainable, so prices rise. A $99 bike could become $119 overnight. This pattern repeats for backpacks, TVs, sneakers, and more. Retailers might delay price hikes by selling old inventory, but eventually, the new costs catch up. The tariff becomes a hidden tax on your shopping trip. Every step in the supply chain passes the cost forward. In the end, it's the consumer who pays at the checkout. The impact is felt in every aisle. The real burden of tariffs falls on American consumers, especially Walmart's core shoppers. For working-class families and seniors, even small price hikes can be a crisis. Higher prices mean paychecks don't stretch as far, forcing tough choices on groceries, clothes, and essentials. A 10-25% increase on basics could cost families thousands a year. For those living paycheck to paycheck, that's devastating. Wealthier shoppers might absorb the cost or switch brands, but for many, Walmart is already the cheapest option. If prices rise at Walmart, there's nowhere else to go. The result? The poorest Americans bear the heaviest burden. Less money for basics means less spending elsewhere, slowing the whole economy. The squeeze at the checkout counter ripples across the nation. Walmart isn't alone. Tariffs hit the entire retail sector. Target, Best Buy, dollar stores, and department stores all rely on low-cost imports. Rising costs force them to raise prices or risk losing customers. Struggling retailers like Macy's and Kohl's could face even greater challenges. Small businesses with less leverage and thinner margins are especially vulnerable. Many may be forced to close, unable to compete or absorb higher costs. Even American suppliers and farmers feel the pain, as China retaliates with tariffs of its own. The trade war's impact spreads far beyond Walmart, threatening jobs and communities nationwide. Economists across the board are nearly unanimous in their assessment of tariffs and trade wars. Their analyses, based on decades of economic principles and real-world data, paint a concerning picture. Tariffs, despite often being portrayed otherwise, are fundamentally taxes levied on American businesses and consumers, not foreign countries. They increase the cost of imported goods, which in turn affects domestic prices. Numerous studies consistently demonstrate that the financial burden of these tariffs is primarily borne by U.S. importers. These companies, often small and medium-sized businesses, face higher costs for the goods they bring into the country, and ultimately, these increased costs trickle down, impacting families and individuals across the nation. Everyday essentials become more expensive, straining already tight household budgets. Tariffs can trigger inflation, leading to a general increase in the price level of goods and services in the economy. This erodes purchasing power and makes it harder for people to afford the things they need. This inflationary pressure can then force the Federal Reserve to intervene by raising interest rates in an attempt to cool down the economy. Higher interest rates translate to more expensive loans and mortgages, making it more difficult for individuals and families to borrow money for homes, cars, and other major purchases. This further squeezes household budgets, leaving less room for savings, investments, or discretionary spending. Trade wars inject uncertainty into the market, creating volatility and making it difficult for businesses to plan for the future. This uncertainty can disrupt the economy in unpredictable ways, leading to decreased investment, slower growth, and even business closures. Beyond the immediate economic effects, there's also a significant long-term risk. America's global reputation as a champion of free trade and a reliable partner is fundamentally at stake. If the U.S. turns inward and embraces protectionist policies, other countries will inevitably seek to form new partnerships and trade agreements, potentially leaving the United States isolated on the global stage. Rebuilding lost trust with trading partners and re-establishing disrupted supply chains could take decades, hindering future economic growth and prosperity. Some argue that the economic pain is a necessary price to pay in order to force countries like China to change what are perceived as unfair trade practices and intellectual property theft. They view tariffs as a crucial source of leverage, a tool to achieve a more balanced and equitable trade deal in the future. But for now, regardless of the potential long-term benefits, the immediate pain is undeniably real. Higher prices for consumers, lost jobs in affected industries, and pervasive economic uncertainty that casts a shadow over businesses and households alike. The debate continues to rage on in the halls of government and in the media, but the consequences of these trade policies are already being felt in communities across the country. For retailers struggling to stay afloat and consumers facing rising costs, the fallout from these trade disputes is immediate, severe, and deeply concerning. We're at a crossroads for American retail. Tariffs threaten the very foundation of companies like Walmart, built on global sourcing and low prices. The choice is made now: finding new suppliers, raising prices, or investing in U.S. manufacturing will shape shopping for years. This isn't just about Walmart, it's about every retailer and every American family. The most vulnerable consumers and workers are at greatest risk. The administration aims to protect American industry, but the cost may be a painful squeeze on millions. The future of the American checkout line is uncertain: higher prices, fewer choices, or a new era of retail. One thing is clear: decisions in Washington will soon be felt in every shopping cart across the country.